Alright, it's just about 11:30 here in the morning on August 21st, Friday. We're having another bloody day today. Markets are selling off hard, disregarding the 200-day moving average support on the daily and the 50-week moving average key support on the weekly. We're going to have the first close under that level, it appears, for the first time in 44 months. So that is definitely a technically significant development. We're looking at SPY right now. We had a 5-minute candle hammer form on increased volume. This signaled support was found at 199.97. Currently trying to form a base here with some sideways trading. We're going to watch to see if this 200 or this 20 period moving average resistance can be turned into support at any point today. So just to point out the volatility of options, this was the call that I played this morning that was at 90 cents and it went all the way up to 130. And is now at 15 cents. So that just shows you how insane and quickly these options can move. Let's start looking at our tickers here. We got Apple to start it off. Apple hit a low and a lower low and is now going to test the 20 period moving average resistance at some point in the near future. That level is 109.69. So that is what we will be watching for. PCLN, not as drastic as a sell-off, but still setting subtle lower lows. Was rejected from the 20 period moving average 5-minute chart and is still trying to find some support and find a bottom here. Basically all these stocks, it's going to be up to the 20 period 5-minute moving average resistance. Once it can turn those into support, it might be the shift in trend on the day, but until that can happen, we are definitely still bearish. Looking at GoPro, had a nice bounce in the morning, holding up better than most stocks we're looking at. Still setting in those lower lows, but this low is still higher than the low of the day. So still an uptrend intact if it can find its recovery and get back above the 20 period moving average resistance and potentially the 100 period moving average resistance to set a higher high than was seen this morning. It's going to take a lot of bullish activity to do that. We saw RYAM get rejected from the $7 mark. Not much to see here. We got the 100 period moving average support at 671. That's a key level to hold, and $7 resistance. Amazon, same as everything else, but still holding the low of the day, which was 501.13. Keep your eye on that level as it is still setting lower lows since that point, and we have the 20 period moving average resistance that knocked the price down recently. I just went over PCLN. I'll touch back on it quickly. It's just setting lower lows, trying to find support. The low of the day is 122.117. Needs to get above the 20 period moving average resistance of 1229.88. Everything right now is in limbo, deciding if it's going to take another leg down or try and set in some higher highs. And watching SPY, that is the main indicator of where we are headed for most other stocks today. For you guys, you want to be watching the price of natural gas, which is... I will pull it up for you. I watched the hourly chart of natural gas when looking at you guys. This was the run up yesterday, and we've seen a lot of pullback. Currently finding support at 272, just below it right now, but that is the level to watch. Also, we have 270 support down here, which held multiple times. So if 270 breaks, that's definitely bearish. But as of right now, it's still setting higher lows. And this is a consolidation period. We're looking for a higher low to set and then to work back towards this 278 level. Back to Fidelity, looking at MCUR. Something tells me it's going to be a cheap stock, and it is. Got the 20 period moving average support right now at 456. That's a key level to hold. It did set a higher high over this high, so that was a bullish sign. We have a low here on the initial pullback, a higher low and now a higher high. So it's looking like it might make its way up to test the $6 high, although that's a long way away. I assume $5 will be psychological resistance at this point. Yeah, I like SPY and the S&P 500 as a better general overview of the markets as compared to Dow, because SPY is 500 companies, whereas Dow, I forget how many are in it. Is it as low as 24 potentially? But definitely not nearly as many stocks, so not as good a gauge of the market. KO on today has been a slow and steady downtrend. Again, rejected from the 20 period moving average resistance, looking like it's setting a new low of the day today. I'm going to pull up the daily chart for myself here. I guess we can all peek along together. So we saw a nice bounce in the morning and then pulled back and breaking the low. We have support down here. This low on the pullback was 39.12. So watch 39.12. Watch volume. We currently have decreasing volume. If we don't get more than 14 million shares traded today, it could signal decreasing volume on a downtrend, potential bounce in the near future. That's another one that has formed a 3 gap down bullish reversal pattern. Have to keep our eyes on that. So SPY just set a new low, which means everything else is going to be looking weak as well. So that hammer did not hold, and it is looking like we're down 2% now on today. Let me switch back to Fidelity. Look at Facebook here. Facebook had a low of 86.74, currently at 86.87, so that's a higher low right now. You want to see it turn around and turn the 20 period moving average resistance into support. That's a common theme, as I keep repeating myself, because that is going to gauge some short-term strength if we can ever see any. Still got the low of the day as support at 86 even. CSIQ has not been seeing as bad a day as most other stocks, perhaps because it's Canadian solar, but still in a little bit of a downtrend after a nice bullish pop this morning. Holding its ground better than most of the bouncers we were looking at. SUNE, I pointed out 11.11 support on the weekly, so we will see if 11 can hold today. Sprint is also green. Sprint saw a sweet bounce off of the 100 and 200 day moving average support on the daily chart. And if it were to be able to get over these 100 and 200 period moving average resistances on the 5-minute chart, it would definitely be a bullish development. Currently holding, we had a pullback here with a low of 468. Held it again on this pullback and now just trying to break the high of 477. Here's SPY going down to test the low again, and there's a new low. So it is just nothing but bears today. McDonald's is down to 97.92, steady downtrend. Thank you, Marcus. Let me fix that for you. So here's McDonald's, steady downtrend, another sell-off right now. Looking at the daily chart to find supports here. There it goes, a new low for McDonald's, and on the daily chart we've got the rejection at 100 resistance. I have to zoom out a bunch to find support here, bear with me. I know you're not seeing this on your screen because it's tedious to keep switching back and forth to one to the other. We had the 50-day moving average support at 97.59 for McDonald's. Two big red days previously, but still holding its higher highs and higher lows pattern in that channel. The low of the previous dip was 97.23. So if we break the 50-day moving average 97.59, look for 97.23, and then we had the 100-day moving average support at 96.95. So still some decent support for McDonald's here at this level compared to everything else we've been looking at. So there's SPY continuing to set new low after new low. Barb is out Amazon. Nice job. Yeah, we had some bounce winners this morning, but very brief window. And once that low of the day for SPY broke, which was 201.47, I believe. Once that broke, it was the signal that there was a lot more pain coming. Good job, Barb. All cash is the way to go right now, unless you are in puts. But I'm still shopping for bounces. Don't let me say otherwise. Bounces are definitely going to unfold next week. We're not going to go another 2% red every day from here on out. There will definitely be bounce opportunities. Still looking at GoPro, still looking at Sunni, still looking at SPY. You can pretty much look at all, there you go, QQQ as well, but pretty much all the big names look for an oversold bounce. Not saying they're not going to continue down, because that's entirely possible and maybe even likely, but there will be a bounce before that happens. For shorts to cover, for bulls to play the bounce. There's definitely a lot of money on the sidelines looking to get into a cheap market and shop. They may be wrong by their entry here, but they're still going to enter. So I'm sure CNBC and the other major networks are trying to calm people down and saying this is a potential shopping opportunity, or whatever they always say to keep people from panicking, but we will see a bounce. We do every time. Exactly. So that is what we're looking at. We're going to keep our eye on SPY, and any stock you're looking at, watch the 20 period moving average resistance on the 5-minute chart. That is going to dictate a lot. Pretty much everything we've looked at, GoPro got above it briefly, but everything we looked at has been knocked down by this level, and once they can get above it and turn it into support, it might be time to start looking for potential little bullish bounces or bullish rallies. Again, I'm watching SPY and other stocks that have had 3 gap downs. The 3 gap down bullish reversal pattern does not unfold today. It needs the confirmation on Monday to qualify as a bullish 3 gap down reversal. So Monday's going to be a big day and potentially a shopping day. We will have to stick with it here and see how the next 4 hours unfolds. I did look at Amazon. Pretty much any ticker you guys can say right now, it's going to be the same story. Setting new lows, watch the 20 period moving average resistance on the 5-minute chart. So yeah, there's a $500 psychological support on Amazon. Broke below it right now, but watch for that level to recover by the end of the day. If we get a close above 500 on Amazon, that will be psychological support going into next week. So if anybody has any more tickers, go ahead and shout them out real quick before I sign off. And we continue to watch the day for any potential signs of a reversal. Otherwise, it's going to keep going down. SPY is trying to regain the $200 psychological level right now. VR, same story, heading down, lower lows, lower highs, watching the 20 period 5-minute resistance. On the daily chart for VR, we are looking at the 50-day moving average support of 45.43. It is currently right around that level. If it can hold that, it'll be a nice potential bounce spot. If we get a close below that level, it could head down to 44.50, which I see the next support after 45.43. Let me pull up. Let's look to see if we can find anyone bucking the trend here. If there's any stocks over their 20-period moving average 5-minute resistance, it would definitely be something to focus on. Here's Apple potentially trying to test it right now, so we could see some tests of this key resistance, key short-term resistance, within the next half hour or so. FCX looking for a higher high over this 968 mark. Did set a lower low, so still in a bearish downtrend until it can break that. And of course you got the 100 and 200 period moving average resistance at 978 and 977 up here. That's the level that pulled back from first thing this morning. Yep, we currently have a higher low with Apple, but we're going to need to see a higher high for that to be confirmed. 109.15 is the mark to get above. Twitter. Twitter is the one bucking the trend. Currently over the 20-period moving average, holding this $26 support very well. Look how many times it was tested and held. If it gets over the 100-period moving average resistance, it's going to be a very bullish sign. A break of 26.32 will also be a very bullish sign. I'm going to quickly look at Twitter on the daily chart to see. I know we got 27 resistance. That's going to be one that, because we dropped so significantly and lack of previous price history, we are looking at psychological levels. So we got 27 resistance, 28 resistance, and 29 resistance is going to be really strong. Let me pull up glue on the daily chart. Yep, glue broke all of that support that it was finding. I really thought it was going to hit $5 before it pulled back, but it couldn't muster it. This pullback in the markets definitely is affecting glue and pretty much everything. Currently hitting 20-period moving average resistance. Need to get over that for any sort of uptrend to form today. So if I were playing this stock 2 days ago, I would have had my stop loss at this low right here. We had two lows at 457. I would have had mine at 456. So if we broke that 457 level and set a low below that, it would have stopped me out before coming down to test this 437 mark, which obviously has failed. But that's just an example of stop losses where I would put it on that chart. And you might not have seen that. I apologize. Let me just switch back over and show you that. Trying to pull up the wrong window here. Here we go. Come on, glue, come up on the chart. Well, I'm struggling with this window here right now, but just look at the August 14th and August 17th lows of glue. That's the level I was pointing out. So yeah, from here for glue, there's no support on the 3-month daily chart. Here's SPY trying to find some support over 200 even. The 20-period moving average resistance is 200.96. Sunni broke $11 support, went all the way down to 10.86. It's down 9.3%. Again, this was a $32 stock 5 weeks ago, and it's now $11. Definitely on my shopping list. $10 psychological support would be a really nice entry, in my opinion, especially if we had this oversold and get there today. So keep your eye on those 20 period moving average resistances on the 5-minute chart, and I will keep talking to you guys in the chat room to see if we can get any kind of bullish footing here. Definitely looking like there's an attempt right now on SPY to change the trend a little